want to talk about relationships. I've gone from organizing my entire life and personality around obtaining a relationship, specifically a marriage and children, to being in that with someone. And I've had a lot of incredibly painful experiences on this path of relationship, a lot of very transformative, very destabilizing experiences, and some very growthful, brilliant, joyful experiences as well. I'm speaking now from a position of reflecting on what it means and what it takes to stay engaged in the relationship, as opposed to getting a divorce, walking away, leaving, ending it. Why do some relationships last and why do others not? One oversimplified way to describe it is simply that at some point, and or at many points, there will be a fork. One road is to leave. It's to end it. That road tends to be very attractive. As we think about leaving, there tends to be a sense of immense relief, profound relief from this absolute nightmare, this unbelievable, incomprehensible distress, disgust that you feel with this person, that this person seems to be the cause of. It's a very attractive path. The other fork is to stay. I think there has to be some kernel of sincere love for that person, in addition to, I think, a sense of self-reflection, a sense of this experience that I'm having that's so hard, despite how much it seems like it's their fault, that they are the cause of it. I know on some other level that I'm contributing to this. And if I were to do something different, if we were to stay together, is there a possibility that our individual and collective work could lead to a reduction of this kind of occurrence, and or an easier moving through this type of occurrence in the future? And if we were able to do all of that, if we were to quote unquote improve our relationship, would it be good? Would it be satisfying? Would it be meaningful to stay? That's part of it, I think. And so what this comes down to, this fork in the road, is literally choosing to stay, not knowing what either path will ultimately provide. Of course, there are extremes to this. There are different ways in which this whole calculus can be undertaken. Obviously, there are more extreme cases where we're talking about people, both of them, one of them is unable, incapable of engaging in reasonable or constructive conversation. They are incapable or unwilling to introspect, self-reflect. There is some type of physical abuse where staying is is likely the worst option, and it doesn't take a lot for most people looking in to say that's not gonna end up well. But if both people are reasonably introspective, self-aware, capable of connecting to and communicating their feelings, capable of taking a sense of accountability for their experience, staying may be the right path for you. But I think most importantly in that decision really is a kind of realization that the relationship itself is a spiritual path. That this relationship will, by definition, continually, through the rest of your life, provoke you in the most vulnerable of ways. It will provoke the most vulnerable emotional reactions, the deepest core of you, because the relationship is a context, is an environment within which you're recreating a lot of childhood and existential experiences. So by definition, this person is provoking your emotional energy reactions regarding the most fundamental aspects of your life, your sense of safety, your sense of anger, your sense of joy, your sense of meaning, and one incredibly powerful and important tool is to develop a sense of attentional strength, the ability to watch yourself, to watch your mind, to remain attentive to your emotions. If you can develop a sense of bodily felt awareness, a sense of your thoughts and feelings, what you can begin to do is refrain from acting on thoughts, feelings, sensations, and emotions that you know are not related to the present circumstance, but are being provoked by the present circumstance. And in so refraining from acting on those emotions, you can return to that person and respond in a way that is appropriate. If you are to respond or react from an elevated or reactive emotional state, you're likely responding to historically conditioned, energetic, psychic, emotional complexes, rather than the person in front of you. And if you continually respond or react that way, you're not going to be able to maintain relationship with them, because it will continually devolve, it will continually break down, you will continually be the enemy and they will become an enemy. And so coming back around to the beginning, actually living the truth of relationship and staying in relationship, it takes a lot of different learnings and experiences and I think capacities, skills that you develop in relationship. And one of them, I would say the precursor to all of them, the most important one, the thing that will have the most impact, is your ability or your your intention and then developed ability over time to refrain from reacting by paying attention to your body and your mind, developing a sense of recognition, the ability to notice and recognize that your state is elevating. You're starting to feel aggressive, impatient, angry, annoyed, livid, rageful. When you start to recognize these patterns, how these things feel, you can notice them sooner and sooner. And as you notice them sooner and sooner, you can bring attention back to your breath, back to your body. Let those thoughts, feelings, and emotions have their process. Let them release. It does not invalidate them by not entertaining or responding to them, because whatever information or wisdom is in those emotions is being processed in your system by allowing it to exist without reacting to it or reacting from it. As you react from it, you reinforce it. You add to the pattern of its existence. So I'll say more at another time, but I'm going to say that for now.